So I started to write something on my Instagram, and of course it was about self-care. I was gonna say what I was gonna do for this Saturday, and how I was gonna take care of myself and stuff. And my mind just shifted into soul care. What am I doing in my life that I need to nurture? What am I doing in my life that I need to build up? So when you think about self-care, you think about, okay, oh, I'm gonna take a bath, soak, get some lovely steam. I don't know. I'm gonna get my nails done. I'm gonna get my hair done. I'm gonna get a new outfit. I'm gonna, go do something for myself. I'm gonna be selfish and I'm gonna take care of myself. But when I think of soul care, I think of deep healing within. I don't just think of let's go do this, do this, do this. Yes, self-care can be taking care of your mental. Self-care can be taking care of your emotional needs, and making sure that you stay on track mentally. Self-care is, okay, you're depressed, let's take care of that. Let's get some medication in you. Let's get some fresh air in you. But soul care is, why are you depressed? Soul care is getting to the root of the issue, okay? And when I was thinking about this yesterday, a phrase came in my head, and it was, you have the seeds, but you have no root. You're wondering why you're not flourishing because you are not rooted. I don't know who's supposed to hear that. I don't know. But that came into my mind. And of course, I related it to different things in my life. But I also know that the reason why, I thought of that was to, get on my YouTube channel because maybe somebody needs to hear it. But yeah, so when I think of that, it's, don't just worry about self-care, but worry about soul care. Self-care is those seeds. Self-care is, okay, I got the seeds, I got the water, and I got the soil. But soul care is putting it all together, okay? Soul care is, okay, I got the seeds and the water and the soil. Now let's get to the root, okay? Let's tuck that seed in the soil. Let's water it. Let's get the rooting. It's not just any type of soil, but you have to be planted in good soil. In order to root, you have to be planted in good soil. You can't just be planted in bad soil. Like this plant up here, I use it for an example. This plant, it's dying. It has some brown leaves on it and stuff, and it was dying because I took it out of the soil that it knew. I brought it from a store, and what I like to do is I like to repot my plants. I like to, give it new soil and stuff. So when I took this plant out of the soil that it was planted in and that it knew, and placed it in better soil that I thought was better for it, okay? Because that soil it wasn't good to me. I was like, oh, I don't like this soil. I'm going to repot it. I'm going to put it in a bigger pot. I'm going to put fresh soil in there. I'm going to water. I'm going to nurture it. But what it ended up happening was my beautiful plant started to die. And I was like, oh my goodness, why is it dying? I had to look on Google. I was Googling stuff. And what I found was transplant shock. Is that plants can go into shock if they are uprooted from the soil that they've known. And when they are placed in different soil, what happens is the plant begins to die because it's in shock, okay? But let me tell you guys, if you continue to nurture the plant, if you continue to water the plant, if you continue to be attentive to the plant, okay, make sure it's facing sunlight, make sure it's, not getting too much cold air, make sure, as long as you're paying attention to the needs of this plant, that plant will begin to grow and flourish even stronger and longer and more beautiful than it was in its old soil. So I say all of this to say, you guys, okay, is that when you're in life and when you feel that, it's time to transition into a new phase of your life, that may be a new group of friends, that may be a new workplace, that may be just going in another dimension in your business, in your relationship, whatever the case may be. You might be moving homes from one home to a new home. And I thought about this and I was like, man, anytime you switch from one thing to another, right, you have to make sure, like when you go into business deals, when you switch from one partner to another partner, you have to make sure that that partner has everything that you need to grow your business, everything that you need to nurture your business with. You have to make sure that that person has the right nutrients, okay? Because you got the seeds, but now this person has to have the right soil. They have to have the right water. They have to have, beneficial to you. You guys got to be beneficial to each other, So as you make this big move into whatever next dimension you're going to or phase in your life that you're going to, there may be a time of shock, okay? There may be a time of, say you transition into better territory, better friendships, better relationships, better connections, better business, better, everything, okay? There might be a time of shock of where parts of you have to die in order for the new parts of you to flourish, okay? And I'm gonna say that again, you guys. I told you guys there was a point in time when I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, right? But there was another time where I was going somewhere else, okay? I was going into new places and new spaces and connecting, making different connections with people, meeting new people and stuff. And there was a time of shock because I was coming into, okay, where did I come from and where am I now? Things, it wasn't like that before, and it is the way that it is now. You have to do things differently. When I was coming into these new spaces and stuff, there was a piece of me that did not require me to be in my bed, sleep under the covers. I wasn't supposed to be mute, but I had to talk. I had to open my mouth. And with me being diagnosed with social anxiety, obviously that's a problem, right? But I had to kill that social anxiety so that I can move into my next space, into my next place. Okay, you guys? So listen. So when I see those brown leaves on this plant and the pieces of it dying, but then I see new pieces of it growing. I see fresh green leaves flourishing and growing also. Okay, you guys? So listen, I say all of this to say, I use an example. When I was in my old workplace, I couldn't talk about God with my clients. I couldn't bring Jesus into it. It was, non-religious, just take care of my caseload and my families that I had, and that's it. So when I transitioned into my new job and actually working at a church and actually, becoming an independent contractor for a faith-based company and me being faith-based myself, right? That was great. That was, my new job was the new soil and my old job was the old soil that I was planted in, right? So when I transitioned from my old job to my new job, there was a time of shock, okay? And I'm telling you guys, I was depressed. I had anxiety in my old job, but going into my new job, I could not be depressed. I could not have social anxiety. My new job required me to open my mouth, required me to use my voice, required me to actively, not just, be on one-on-ones with people, because I was fine, one-on-ones with people with my social anxiety. that was fine. But like being in a open space where I had to talk to multiple people and everybody around me, that was hard. You know, that was a transition of shock. You know, at my old job, working 9 to 5, you know, at 5 o'clock hit, back home in the bed, head under the covers, wake up, do it all over again, back home, head under the covers, right? But when I transitioned to my new jobs, it was, you know, I could create my own schedule. So that motivated me to create a routine, a daily routine of self-care, of what I was going to do from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m., right? Creating that schedule, like exercise. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to take my bath at this time. I'm going to do some of my notes at this time. I'm going to work on church stuff at this time. I'm going to talk to this person. You know, like all of that, right? Busy, 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 busy. You know, I have no time to be in my bed under my covers like I was at my old job when 5 o'clock hits, back under the covers in bed. You know what I mean? Go home, that's it. So I had to kill the depression. I had to kill the social anxiety, right? And I had to let those black leaves fall from my personality, basically, you know? And that's not to say that I didn't get help for my depression and my anxiety, okay, you guys? Because listen, I've tried medicines, I've tried therapy, I've tried many different techniques, okay? And it was a lot of trial and error to get to where I am right now, okay? But I say all this to say is that the best thing that has worked for me has been staying connected to God, keeping myself busy, and keeping myself motivated. Is really walking in my purpose, okay, you guys? Because I realized that you could be depressed, you can have anxiety, and you can walk in your purpose, right? But you also have to be connected to God. You have to make sure that you are getting nutrients in your roots, you guys, okay? Wherever you're planted, okay? The depression and anxiety should not overpower what you do. So in this time of uncertainty, you know, when you're finding your footing, when you are going through this shock, okay? It's okay, all right? It's okay if you're going through this shock. It's okay, because I know it's okay, okay? Let some things die off, you know? If you have transitioned into a new place in your life, and maybe you are in a relationship that, it doesn't have to be a relationship, it could be a friendship. But if you are in a connection with somebody, sometimes you can't bring them to where you're going. Sometimes you have to leave them behind, you know? Just like the black leaves, you know, that's a piece that you have to leave behind because you are being transplanted somewhere else. The soil that's nurturing you, you want to make sure that you're being watered. You want to make sure that you're being cared for. You want to make sure that everything is all good, you know, where you're at. I just wanted to share that with you guys, okay? Like, don't be scared going into a new place and you don't know what's going on, or if things are different than what you're used to. Let it happen, you know, let that shock go away. You know, let that just die out, and continue to be planted where you're at, okay? And continue to make sure you're being nurtured where you're at, and make sure that you're doing self-care and soul care, you guys, okay? That soul care is just so very important, because it's like, no matter what you do to your physical, no matter what you do to your mental, it's like the soul care is the root, okay? That soul care, the rooting, that's what matters, okay? Not this outside, okay? But it's the inside. It's the, not just, oh, you're depressed. It's the, why are you depressed? What happened for you to get depressed? When did that happen for you to get to, okay, let's get down to the soul root of the why, okay? So again, you guys, I hope that you guys are having a great day. I hope that you guys are continuing to look at your success, process, and stay blessed, you guys. And I will talk to you guys another day.